Hello, I'm Askar Sherliyev and you're watching the news from Kazakhstan. Letters based on the public statements of Mukhtar Ablyazov and prepared by non-registered political party Alga never reached their intended recipient, the parliament. 11 members of Alga attempted to hand over the appeal to the deputies but were stopped by the police at the parliament's entrance.
You've got mail. Activists of non-registered political party Alga brought to the parliament more than 160 envelopes with documents exposing the deputy chairman of Samruk-Kazyna Fund, the son-in-law of President Nazarbayev, Timur Kulibayev. The police reaction was swift. They grabbed us without explanation and are taking us somewhere, probably to the bus. The mail never reached its intended recipients. Alga members were taken to a district department where they spent about 3 hours and had to write an explanation letter. By the evening, activists were taken to Astana Administrative Court.
Party members were arrested by the police at the parliament's entrance. They only had time to tell me over the phone that they were arrested without reasons given. The last information I was given is that they were taken to Yesil District Internal Affairs Department.
This is already the third parcel sent by Ablyazov. Previously, he sent similar documents to the governments of China and Kazakhstan.
A letter was sent to the General Prosecutor's Office and also the Internal Affairs Ministry. We put the letter in their mailbox.
According to Ablyazov's document, the president's son-in-law Timur Kulibayev made more than $160 million from the deal between Kazakhstan and Chinese oil businessmen. Local officials have yet to react on Ablyazov's message. Perhaps that is what made Alga activists to try and deliver the mail directly to parliamentarians. Now, though, it is obvious that the parliament has no intentions to read such correspondence.
Timur Kulibayev's reaction to the discrediting evidence resulted in the Almaty court decision to arrest the latest issues of several newspapers that published questionable materials about the president's son-in-law. The court also demands public apologies from Mukhtar Ablyazov, who supposedly defamed the country's top manager. Surprisingly, Timur Kulibayev didn't ask for the compensation for moral damages.
An Almaty district court arrested the latest issues of several newspapers and demanded public apologies from Mukhtar Ablyazov for openly accusing Timur Kulibayev, the deputy chairman of Samruk-Kazyna Fund, in corruption. This happened after a number of Kazakh newspapers printed discrediting information about Kulibayev on February 1. Newspapers Vzglyad, Respublika and Kursiv are on the list of defendants. The editor of the letter who allowed the printing of questionable materials is already fired. No one wants to comment the situation at the moment.
We got a call from above. It is prohibited to say anything about Kulibayev.
According to Mukhtar Ablyazov, the deal between Kazakh and Chinese oil corporations has brought the president's son-in-law more than $160 million. Almaty judiciary prohibited not only mass media but also any person to disseminate information discrediting Timur Kulibayev. According to human rights activists, the district court went beyond not only national but also international laws ratified in Kazakhstan and actually did even more than the plaintiff demanded. Plaintiff Kulibayev clearly defined the defendants. The court, however, banned all mass media and all persons concerned from distributing information and expressing opinions related to Kulibayev. This court decision has nothing to do with laws, even though it is based on some of them. Likely, this is only the beginning of the scandal. Ablyazov sent copies of documents with records of bribes paid to Kulibayev by Chinese managers to the authorities of both Kazakhstan and China. Neither of them, however, has reacted yet. Meanwhile, the disgraced banker said he has enough discrediting evidence for an entire year. Thus, no one seriously expects that the story will be over after the recent district court decision.
While activists of the non-registered party Alga attempted to deliver Mukhtar Ablyazov's letter in Astana, a case of one of the party members, Vladimir Kozlov, was reviewed in Almaty. Find out more from the next report.
The activist of the non-registered party appealed the decision to fine him $50 for the release of balloons during a flash mob in support of convicted journalists Ramazan Yesergepov and Tokniaz Kuchukov. The submission of an appeal is a necessary part of the trial procedure if a person considers himself to be not guilty. It is necessary to save documents for every case like that. Probably it will not have a lot of resonance in history, but it needs to be saved in court archives in order to analyze it later and give appraisal for what was going today.
On February the 2nd, the Administrative Court of Almaty had to make a decision related to the public activist Yermek Narımbayev. However, the hearing was postponed yet again, this time until the next Tuesday. Narımbayev was arrested 3 days ago for the organization of unsanctioned protest march and is still detained in the isolation ward on legal grounds.
Apparently, Narımbayev was already arrested in mid-January. He and a few other people were walking down the street waving the flag of Arman movement. Now Narımbayev will face another term for the unsanctioned march. The activist says that he's a victim of intelligence services provocations, but doesn't specify why they would make a scapegoat out of a little-known organization. They found a dirty way for the authorities to get us. That is why we will help them hire lawyers even though we do not have money. But we have to somehow expose the National Security Committee. I'm in politics for more than 10 years and I've never heard about such obvious dirty provocations.
More news about the National Security Committee. On Tuesday, President Nursultan Nazarbayev participated in the meeting of the committee's board in Astana. Security officers reported about their work progress. In the end of the meeting, the president charged the officials with improving the level of protection of citizens' interests and also noted the importance of observing the legislation and human rights in the committee's work. To the other news, oppositionists make their own conclusions about the quality of politics in Kazakhstan. After listening to the president's annual address, most of them became pessimistic about the political future of the country. According to some public activists, it is clear from the president's speech that Nursultan Nazarbayev has no intention to leave his post in the following decade.
The opposition says that Nazarbayev is planning to rule the country until 2020. The conclusion is drawn from the following phrase the president said during his annual address: "My goal for the economic development for the next 10 years. Politicians are certain that the challenged head of the state suggested that he is not going to bow.
He's going to see his plans come true, hence I think it is wrong to say that Nazarbayev will leave the political arena in 2012 and is currently preparing his successor. It is apparent to me that he sees no worthy successor or a substitute, and he will lead the state while his health condition allows him to do so."
The health condition should not be a problem, as if mocking his opponents, Nazarbayev yet again talked about longevity during his address.
We already have some groundworks and discussed that. Now we must go even further in this direction. 3 new research centers will be set up within the new university, which is being created in Astana. The first one will deal with life science and, together with leading international research centers, will focus on organs, transplantation, artificial heart, lungs and stem cells research, as well as working on longevity medicine.
In their turn, political figures loyal to the authorities want the president to have even more power than before.
In perspective, the result of a deep constitutional reform should make the president of Kazakhstan hold the authorities of both the head of government and president. In fact, our 18-year experience shows that our Kazakh nation is loyal to only one ruler and one person.
There were 4 constitutional reforms in the country, all of which always resulted in strengthening of the president's power. Last time the head of state gained the privilege to run for presidency an unlimited number of times. Hence the pessimism of opposition, which now predicts that there might be no elections in 2012 altogether.